Welcome back to the Pleasure Dome. I am Fruit Salad Yummy Yummy here. Today joined by my chickas.
Insignificant Meme here.
Yo, what's up? It's your boy Kyuss.
Hello, it's Bop-it here.
Alright, and I guess today we're talking about what would make up the perfect Utopia. You know, I'll start out. You see, now this
Okay,
is
so
gonna sound
perfect. Personally, I think we need to kill off all the undesirables.
Oh my god, no! No, that's an awful idea.
That's the only way to keep the true productive members of society on the top.
Yes.
I
I
mean,
agree.
actually,
So what I'm hearing,
not- actually, you're right, though. Because this is gonna sound awful, but if we kill all the people
Poor
who
people.
Yes, poor people, disabled people.
Mhm.
I mean, I would say anyone who opposes our idea, but I was about to say, I think it should be an anarchism. That doesn't mean it's like, oh hell, everyone's break loose, everyone
Well-
goes rapes everyone. No,
No.
because anarchy means there's no government.
No.
So
In
We
all
wouldn't
seriousness, though,
government
that's a really shitty idea. Because when there's no government, it's just going to collapse into chaos, and out of that vacuum, a dictatorship will form.
And that's
So-
why
so what
we
you-
need more government.
anarcho-capitalism.
That's
No,
why we need
you need
communism.
you need a good a good
Anarcho-cap-
stable mix of not ANCAP, that same thing as anarchy pretty much.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bless you.
That was a burp.
Oh,
Yeah, so you need a good mix of like less government and a good amount of government, which I think what we have in the U.S. is a pretty good system. Just the main problem with a lot of governments is that when there's money involved, like not to rip on money, but yeah, corruption, because it's supposed to represent all people equally, but with corruption, it ends up just representing the people who can afford to be represented. So I think a utopia ideally would fix that problem first, which has been tried through communism, but then like everyone just starves, you know?
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly.
yeah, like communism, it had a good idea at first. Like Karl Marx wasn't like a dumbass, but at the same time, the way, well, you know what, not a total dumbass. He had.
Yeah.
it's a
he
good
had
idea on paper.
It's a good idea on paper, but when put into practice, no country is at the stable level that's needed. Like, you need a certain level of stability before you start, like, the whole communism idea.
Jeez, if my sister was in this conversation, she's the one that's in Antifa, she'd be so triggered right now.
Oh, yeah.
saying that communism has never worked. Anyway,
I mean, communism works in theory, and that's why. I mean, I like
Yeah.
it because it's just like in theory, like if we could theoretically do this, it would be amazing. It would be great.
I think there is a way it
Everyone-
can work, and I think there's a way that it has worked before, but
I feel like it works in
that,
small doses.
yeah, and
Yeah.
I have an idea of why that is, because communism at its core, it's a voluntary system. Like nothing's supposed to be enforced. It's all supposed to be everyone's equal. So it's just everyone shares everything voluntarily. But when you do that on a massive giant scale, like in Soviet Russia or China, yeah, like you can't force that many people to just cooperate. So a dictatorship ends up forming that's brutally oppressive in order to force people to be cooperative. But in scenarios like hippie communes or like other communes where like people aren't forced into a situation like that, but they just voluntarily join those kinds of societies, they end up working because it's only made up of people who want to be there in the first place.
True. But what about like the other people? Like, what would happen to them? Would we just like get rid of them, like kind of kick them out of the country?
Are we trying to create a society that engulfs the entire world,
Well,
or all of humanity, or just
I mean,
or just the
since
people that
it's
want
a
to be in it?
Since it's a utopia, I mean, my vision of utopia would be like, I mean, it could be like one country, but then that would need high defenses, which
From what?
Are you
like,
saying as in
to
one
protect
country, as the whole world united as one?
No,
country?
I'm saying
Like,
say
that's-
there's two types of utopias we could have here. We could have one that's the entire world, or one that's like a single country.
Yeah.
If it were to be a single country, then we would need
It'd be a
defenses.
lot easier, a lot more simple, though. To be fair.
Yeah, but it would need more defenses.
It'd be impossible to run the world on a
which
scale.
could be seen
think-
as a
I think you could skip over the defensive part if we were doing it in a scenario where it was a country in the mix with a bunch of other countries, then you could just do like what like tiny island nations do, where they get like support
kind of
from
like Japan
bigger
with the
countries.
US. Like
Or like Bermuda with Britain. Like they just use Britain's military and no one attacks them. And
What if
also,
it just says like something like similar to the UN for the Utopia of some sorts, except a country?
like where just everyone's like forced to cooperate through democracy. So
Guess so.
okay.
And also, a
Um,
side note, when you guys were talking about communism, how everything's equal, you're gonna bring in a touch of science. In nature, there's a system. You got the people that rule, and then you got the lower people, and it all runs due to the lower people. Then they get fed on by the other people. You know
it's
how
like
it works.
the
All that
pyramid.
stuff.
Yeah, the pyramid.
Pyramid.
Social hierarchy.
Without the bottom, there can't be a top. Like, because
Yeah.
the top people do fucking nothing. Donald Trump, not biased.
Well, I mean I see what you're saying, but the idea of a communist society is that everyone there would be no need for hierarchy like that.
yeah,
Because
communism-
everyone would just basically live like a super everyone would basically have a super low standard of living. They would all be like agrarian farmers, and they would just share food, and they wouldn't really have much else.
Yeah, they wouldn't really need anything else.
Yeah, but like in a utopia, if we're talking about like a pure utopia, I don't think that really fits most people's definition.
Yeah. That,
So,
I was about to say.
Beyond that, there would be some kind of hierarchy, because then
It would
then
have
you
to be a
then-
hierarchy, but it would have to be like good, like kind of take for the United States,
Yeah,
like.
but-
I mean,
but yeah,
pay
as long,
could be
as-
better, but like,
okay.
Like,
Sorry.
I don't know, because, like, yeah, like, people, when they think of utopia, they don't think about being farmers and having nothing. In the age
Yeah.
of technology, we all want more and more stuff to keep us entertained, like, on, like,
They want
streams.
360 VR headset porn.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah. but
Um,
we would need like
and
scientists and like
yeah, and
people
and-
to invent this stuff.
Yeah, but would they have enough, like, materials and resources for everyone?
That's why
To
you would
get-
need to like kind of have it be like a capitalist
Yeah, exactly.
state, but like you need to have the pay be like something everyone can agree on. You can't just have like a
Well-
scientist be paid as same as janitor, but you can't have like a janitor be paid
Right.
like nothing.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of like what the U.S. has, but pretty much take that and do it better. Like the minimum wage now is just awful. Like
Yeah,
Uh,
I think I agree with capitalism and how it works. I think just the only thing wrong with it, and that's wrong with a lot of countries today, is that capitalism, the main purpose of it is for someone to make a profit, and so that ignores the like basic human needs of what people need to live. So I think if the only purpose of the government really should be to make sure capitalism doesn't have to provide for necessities, because it doesn't, it really isn't meant to. It's meant to make a profit, and that drives forward progress a lot, and that's how we get 360 VR porn. But like we've seen this with like healthcare and like the minimum wage and stuff. Like it's not designed to create amazing living conditions for people. So that's really, that in my opinion, that's all the government should really do. It should
Like,
it should
control-
provide necessities.
yeah,
like it should
basic
provide like it should provide health care. It should make sure the minimum wage is livable, and it
Honestly-
should provide protection through a military. But the thing is, with like a minimum wage, I'm not an economist, so, and there are a lot of opinions about whether the minimum wage should be
It should be
like
higher.
should be a living wage or whether it shouldn't be, and I'm really not sure, because there's a like there's a lot of people who say that like if the minimum wage is too high, then it'll make small businesses not able to compete because they won't be able to afford it.
We gotta take a short break now. Like, so just
Okay.
hold on to
Fuck
your
you
phone.
all. You're all assholes. Talk to you in a little
We'll
bit.
be back in
Alright.
about like few seconds after
This has.
Remember Jared from Subway? He's inspired a lot of people.
He's looking good. He'll show you the way. His name is Jared, and he'll lead you to Subway. That's where it goes, along with the rest. For 7 sandwiches with 6 grams of fat or less.
What an inspiration. Subway. Eat fresh.
You know what? Just I don't understand strip clubs. Like, why would anyone find it enjoyable to go to that?
They seem really stupid. I mean, they're just awkward. Like when you go there, you can't even do anything. It's just like what are you gonna do? Like
You throw money
wow,
at them and you just lose
that's
lots of money.
some nice
Giving away your money
girls,
just
right?
like
I mean,
some girl who isn't even like completely.
There's many free websites on the internet, man. Like
Yeah.
Bop-it to a club.
Yeah. Can't
Like,
back
yeah,
in
seriously.
public.
Like you literally just have to.
oh shit, guys,
shit,
shut up.
Shit, I swear.
Welcome back. I am Fruit Salad, yummy. We are glad to have you rejoining us at this public execution in a Saudi Arabian town square.
Oh god.
All right.
Alright.
Well, so
Last time
where
we
were
were
we?
talking about
Utopia.
how to create a utopia. But seriously, I mean, what's even the point of strip clubs? They're just they're just so much more awkward than pleasureful,
Yeah,
right?
we
Are we,
get
talking,
it, we get it.
are we
we
sure
get
a
it.
strip
Discuss
club
this next
isn't a
commercial break.
utopia?
We
Like-
should
like
return
when
to
people
our
that go there, they just-
conversation
I feel
on,
like they just go there as kind of like a status thing. Like they don't go there because they want to. I think that's the reason like a lot of people like
Fruit
drink
salad.
beer and stuff too. It's
Fruit
just a
salad,
status
yummy.
Fruit
thing. Like
salad,
they
yummy. You gotta
they-
stop.
Okay.
they don't even like it. They're like if you think about it,
Fruit
it's just-
salad. You need
Fruit
to
salad,
calm
yummy.
down.
Okay, fruit salad.
Fruit,
Calm down.
salad,
Right.
yummy.
So-
It's time to stop. We should get back
So-
on track.
I don't even
No.
remember half the things I'm saying because I'm just mumbling and I forget it the moment I say it.
All right. So we
We're
were talking about how like
Utopia
the government,
Communism.
how the only time the government should be involved is like basic necessities. Like they should control them. Like I don't want to say they should control the money,
Keep them safe.
but they should like basic human necessities. Make sure they're getting paid well. I also
Yeah, but I
think-
just want to get back to the point of a strip club real
God
quick.
damn it,
Like-
fruit salad.
Like
no,
when I was talking about status, I
No,
don't
quickly,
mean that. Like
quickly.
they go there
Yo,
to like impress their
salad.
friends. Yeah,
no,
How about we just quickly wrap up
Because
the
they're like-
Utopia thing
because
and we
they're
can
like-
move
they're-
on to that. Just give us
because
like
they're
5
like, yo,
minutes.
no, I'm not gay. Like I love strip clubs, and then they go, and it's awkward for everyone.
Yeah, you
And
know what?
they-
like,
they-
yeah, Fruit Salad here has a point. I mean,
Well, I mean, he
as
does
much
have.
as we
valid
want to
point,
get
but
back
this
to
is
our
the whole
conversation, he's got like a very, very valid point. Like,
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, anyway, you guys are all idiots. So let's get back to the
Back
conversation.
to the conversation. So what I was saying, I think the government should have like paying and like.
No,
kinda
I'm
like-
sorry, guys. You guys aren't idiots. I love you guys.
Shut
I
up,
love you
Fruit
too, man.
salad.
But you gotta shut the fuck up.
okay, let
Alright.
Kyuss speak here.
All right. I think the government should have like kind of like I guess like a tier system, like depending on like your job. Like say if your job's like a scientist, you should
I don't
like
think we should have enforced. I don't think
Isn't
we
this
should
a
have an
hierarchy
enforced tier
again?
system.
well like dude, what's preventing like a business owner from saying, hey, you get paid.
It's gonna happen anyway. It will happen.
Like
It's
What
you're
will
naturally
getting.
gonna happen.
It'll naturally happen, but it'll constantly be in flux. That's the point of like a economic mobility. You're supposed to be able to earn your way to the top, and if you fail, you're supposed to be able to fall to the bottom. It's
So
not
what?
supposed
Like
to
all
be
of a sudden,
static.
janitors
So
will
bop
become
up
like
to the top.
janitors
What?
will become more valuable than doctors.
No, but if a janitor works their way up, they can become like the business owner or something.
Yeah,
Oh,
I guess-
That's a good idea.
That's the essence of capitalism, but because of like corruption and like shitty regulation, that's not the case, and people get
Also,
stuck at the bottom, or
I
they get or they're able to easily stay at the top, and it should be more fluid.
yeah.
Like
Yeah. Also, kind of like you keep bringing up corruption. I think I think the punishment system in like the Utopia like should be like depending on what it is, it's banishment. If it disrupts the Utopia and like really kind of screws with the system,
Do you mean
get
like
kicked out.
in like
So,
which way?
Like say if you're like a corrupt business,
Oh yeah.
the owner and anyone associated with him will be kicked out.
On the subject of capital punishment, I think that it should be reserved for. I think in this utopia, corruption, because it often does more damage for the masses than like something like murder does for like an individual. Well, no,
Yeah,
okay,
so-
okay. For an individual, murder does a lot more. But like in terms of how many
For the
people it
masses.
affects, corruption is
Exactly.
is like the worst crime that someone
Mhm.
can commit. Not necessarily like from a like you can argue that like banks had a big part in the 2008 crash. So maybe like privately owned business corruption too, but like government corruption too. Like I think that should be
Like
punishable. I think
murder,
that should be like the most severely punished thing in this utopia.
Yeah.
Because like it's trying to undermine the system which has been established.
Yeah.
Like not trying to undermine the elites who are in power, but trying to undermine like the core values of the system. Like I think like government corruption or like monopolies should be treated as if you were trying to undermine the Constitution, because that's really what it is. But it's
Yeah.
not treated like that in our country. So I think in this utopia that should be like one of the priorities. Like that should be like we have like the first 10 amendments. Like that should be like one of the first 10 amendments.
Yeah,
It should be prioritized a lot more.
murder it's pretty tragic, yes, but like honestly, like you said, it really only affects people on a personal scale. Like if say
actually,
maybe it's like an assassination, like if you assassinate.
I think I actually did make a false equivalence there, because like murder, it's not less detrimental than corruption. It just affects less people. So I was saying that like on a population level,
Yeah,
it's less harmful, but it's still like it should be treated the same as it should be treated as like the worst crime there is, because it is like killing someone.
Yeah.
But I guess my point was like corruption should be treated more as in terms of punishment, it should be treated more equally to how murder is treated, because it's closer to that in how harmful it is than in how it's treated in today's society, where it's like, oh, you just got a speeding ticket. Like it's treated more like a speeding ticket than like
I understand what
ruining
you're
someone's
saying.
life. Yeah,
Like the severity of corruption can affect the lives of many, I guess, and can
I
also
feel like
affect
just
other
murder,
businesses.
like it's like oh my god, it's so tragic, but it's really only tragic for like the direct group. Like if you
your first O was so dismissive. You're like murder. Oh, who cares?
yeah.
They are preparing to
Like
be with
honestly,
you, but
like
they don't
you
actually
look on the
care.
news, you'll see like woman stabbed to death in a muggy. Oh well, that's pretty bad.
Yeah,
But then you see like well, the dude with the pharmaceutical company guy who keeps raising up the prices. Like that, honestly, in my
That's
opinion,
not
that's worse.
corruption. That's
Well, here's
just
Well,
the
it's not
thing.
corruption,
No,
though, but like
some
it's.
might no.
I'm comparing it to
Here-
like murder.
Some might argue that like
Oh,
seeing the
shit,
murder on TV so much is like desensitizing us. So maybe
I
like,
disagree.
we're just seeing so much murder that we just don't
Yes.
even care anymore.
mean, like,
it just doesn't.
I think
doesn't
if
affect
you were
us, like, why should we?
if you were glorifying it, like saying like, oh, this murder is great, look how strong we are, we were able to take another person's life just because we want to, yeah, we're so great, that would be desensitizing.
Like I said.
But I think avoiding showing murder is that it's
Makes it
like
worse.
it's babying, like it's just
Like,
overprotect.
it's
I'm
belittling
not saying not to
someone.
show murder. I'm just saying people have seen so much of it at this point. It's like
They haven't seen it. They've seen
well,
reports
I've
of it.
seen reports of it.
well,
So
I feel like you're.
It's become
kind
an
of like-
everyday thing on the news.
yeah,
It's
it's,
well,
you,
it's something
but, like,
that
it's
is not
something you
surprised.
almost expect at this point.
You gotta make.
Yeah.
You gotta also say something. The media over glorifies it.
Yeah.
Do they?
They take the
I
bad
think- well,
stuff
not like the
and whatever
news.
they
No,
can
no.
grab
I
I'm
don't
not
think
talking
they.
about
I don't think
I'm
they
talking about-
glorify it. I think they just cash in on it.
No, I'm talking
Too
about
much.
like the TV like entertainment, not like the
TV,
news.
movies,
Oh.
all that
Like,
stuff.
Well,
I mean, the media, that's something completely different. Like, you just like look at the most popular shows like right now, like Game of Thrones.
Lots of blood,
just a
violence,
bunch of people murdering each other.
Well, yeah, but
Um,
then again, it's a fantasy.
guys, I gotta go.
Yeah,
Alright.
well,
Oh.
this video is probably gonna end now anyway. Thanks for
Alright.
tuning into the MEMECAST, everyone.
All right.
Come back next time.
This
We'll
has been
have
Fruit Salad, yummy yummy.
better conversations. Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for joining us in the Pleasure Dome.
Thank you.
Bye. I love you all.
Donny Coconut Tunnels gives me album. Not out now, not out ever.
Yeet yeet my chickas and welcome back to the new Con-Wees concert. That's right, boys, we're handing out them Yeezys. But sadly, our chica, Fruit Salad Yummy Yummy, is not joining us because he has left over the commercial break. But we still have the meme himself,
Oh yeah.
Insignificant Meme, and we got Bop-it, who's probably playing single player Bop-it for all we know. Now, we were just talking about like utopias and how like I mean we went on a little side tangent about like the media over glorifying murder, which honestly I think they do. But back to Utopia, like
Well,
honestly when
I need to point out something real quick. Our utopias that we've been talking about, they're very realistic. They're focused on like a model like capitalism and communism, like just the mix that would work, right? Whereas other people, when they hear the word utopia, their mind would go to like flying cars and not having to work a day and just like free
Actually being
whatever
in
they
shape
want.
because America's like fucking diabetes.
Well,
yeah, well to go off of that, like people usually think Utopia is something like amazing and something like super great. And just like, oh, hey, yeah, Utopia, it's so good. There's flying cars everywhere. Everything's perfect. There's nothing wrong with it. But, like, I feel like just, like, you know, like, you need to take, like, procedures. Everyone
Yeah.
needs some work. It's,
Like,
you can't just
Yeah.
have,
like also to add on to that, wouldn't it get kind of boring if you had everything you ever wanted? Like,
yeah,
just right in front of you. Like, I mean, sure, like, it'll be fun for like a lot of the time, but like, there'll come that point when you kind of feel like you're missing something in life. There's no challenge.
What are you gonna
no
do for the
reward.
60
You
years?
just,
Like,
you just
after
get
that?
it.
kind of just makes life pointless.
Yeah.
It's more about the journey, I guess. Like, you know, when people are working towards something, once they finally get to that goal, they kind of almost feel empty on the inside sometimes because they've been working so hard. Like, many things revolve around the process.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Building
But
upward.
at least they're working for something. Like in this like in people's delusional ideas of a utopia, they wouldn't be working for anything. So you wouldn't even feel like any sort of like sense of reward at all.
Here, kind of like what you're saying right there.
Remember that
It-
movie Tomorrowland? That's like
No.
a utopia, and
No.
well, yeah, you see, that's right. It's a utopia,
I've never
and
seen
no
that
one
movie because it
remembers
looks
that.
Stupid.
You're right. The movie did terrible, and it's a utopia,
Yeah, the movie
and
did
that's why the
terrible,
movie
so
failed.
stop referencing it. The reference actually good things of media.
Okay, an
Yeah, but,
actual good movie, Wall-E. There
That was not Utopia. That
no,
was
it was kind of like because they went up.
That
in
was
the, they
they
went up
just
in
ran
the
away
ship.
from. No, the ship was
it
just
became
The
like,
ship
worse.
was kind of like a mini utopia, kind of.
Shit
the
hit
ship
the fan
was something to run away from the world. Like,
because they
it-
fucked
Yeah, but
up.
they painted
Yeah,
it
exactly.
as a utopia.
well, like kind
The
of like
world
you got
definitely wasn't a utopia.
what you guys were saying about like the Utopia, like how having everything would make you feel empty. Like a few weeks ago, like one of the people who was like top of GTA Online, like they interviewed him. How was it like having everything? He just said it's like it sucks. The journey is what like really makes it fun. Like so having everything, just like you just like I can do this, but I have everything. Like what's the point of working when I have everything I ever will need?
Yeah.
Just like really removes the incentive to that and kind of just like
And I mean, at least he had the journey. Like, again,
Yeah.
saying the utopia where you just get whatever you want, there wouldn't even be a journey. You
Yeah.
just get it. And, like, yeah,
Like-
I mean, it would be cool,
Mhm.
yeah, but for how long?
it would get boring, and then like you know they always say kids these days are so spoiled. I mean, they're right to an extent, but like honest, just like people sitting there just like sit like on their phones, just like wow, this is so boring. They have so much more than they did in the past, and they're just looking at like all this advanced stuff they have now, and just like think it's boring. But like later on in the future, say, well, if we have everything, then like they'll be just like
Yeah.
the same thing. Like there's nothing fun
We're
to
getting slowly closer and closer to having everything we need, like with phone device, like smartphones and like just system, like technology in general. Like it's
We're
pushing
lucky.
us towards that, and I mean, yeah, I mean it's all good stuff, and I'd say like there is a fine medium where like yeah, you not saying you shouldn't use your phone, but I'm saying like there's gonna be a point when they make them so advanced that literally the only thing you'll need in your life is your phone,
Hmm.
and like there wouldn't be anything really to work for or want.
Hmm. But with the thing of materialistic things getting better, it's gonna either do two things. It's either gonna make us really lazy and then not work towards anything, or it's gonna make people work really hard towards things that cannot be achieved through materialistic things, like making it in sports or
I actually
literature.
feel it'd be your first thing, knowing how most Americans, well,
That's
at
how
least
most Americans are.
I don't know about
We
the
c-
rest of the world, but I feel like a majority of the people out there would probably grow lazy. I mean, sure, yeah, you're right. There'd definitely be some people who like, oh, now I have free time, I can dedicate it to like doing a sport or something, and yeah, they could go do that.
becoming the best at an activity.
Perfectionists would actually have time to learn to do
But
everything.
for people
But-
who just have whatever they want in front of them, they're just gonna like let that happen and just do that.
The majority of the population, like they would just be like, why do anything? I don't want to do anything. Yeah. So like really having everything just wouldn't be that great. And like a utopia where everyone worked for like one certain goal, and like honestly, as it keeps developing, like you can just like keep changing that goal. Like our goal now kind of I guess would be like self-driving cars and space exploration, which Elon Musk is doing that with Tesla and SpaceX. So once he gets that, then we would like kind of, I guess, expand it. Maybe just like evolve it to like self-driving cars. Maybe evolve that to like other transportations such as planes or
Yeah.
hell even spaceships.
Yeah.
And also with space travel, like say maybe there is something out there, then like I guess establishing communication between them and
Yeah, and I
establishing
feel like
alliances.
commercial space travel, once they settle up like how to work it, right? Commercial space travel will probably be big in the future. Like
But once we get space
go
travel,
on a
there will
nice
be that
trip to
push.
Mars.
True, but once we get there, the push to explore things again that will slowly start like building up again.
Well,
Like
I mean,
people
there's a
won't
whole
care.
galaxy. People just want to explore more and more. Like, no, not a galaxy. I mean, a universe. So people probably just keep exploring and exploring and exploring. Like,
It's gonna at least, even if we get all the materialistic things we want, there's still the ocean, there's still the universe, there's still many other things to explore in a sense. Luckily.
yeah.
But also another thing, speaking about like the utopia with the flying cars.
Though I feel like us personally, we all are pretty young. We're not going to say our ages, but you could probably tell we're pretty young. I
We're
feel
like 12 years old.
we're like 9.
At least
I
5 years old.
feel like in our lifetime, they'll probably achieve a way to at least just like explore the
Astronauts to
ocean.
Mars.
Astronauts to Mars, definitely. But I know in our lifetime they're probably going to get to a point where they can explore the depths, like the deep, deep ocean.
I don't know because
Really hope the
just
Megalodon-
science.
In
I
our
don't think
life-
would be.
I don't know, but I feel like in our lifetime, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen in our lifetimes.
I feel like just like the pressure of the sea would be too much to explore it. Like the
Yeah, but
physical
that's what they
pressure.
think, but as like everything kind of seems impossible at first until like they went
Yeah.
and made something. So we gotta see, man. Like still a lot in the future.
Yeah, you're
holds.
right. We still have a lot of years ahead of us, but like
And I don't know about commercial space travel either. Like I feel like that might be something when we're like really, really old. Like,
Honestly, I think they might be getting
and we're
closer.
like surviving probably by pills they'll create by then that makes you survive longer.
Once they get to Mars, like eventually, like they'll probably say either yes, this is good.
Now we can make the
this
Matt
a
Damon movie
civilization.
over again, but actually on Mars.
Die. Yeah, but like I feel like the colonization of a planet would come kind of shortly after the planet is like explored most of the way.
Yeah, like, I mean, we haven't even like colonized the moon at all.
Well, yeah,
'Cause we
because
can.
it's
Yeah,
not
I mean,
really
because
that
we can't,
ideal.
But yeah, but we're gonna be back again probably. See you guys. We'll be
See ya.
Gary, now I know I was wrong. I messed up, and now you're gone.
Hey guys, it's the MEMECAST. We're back here again with Meme, Bop-it, and Kyuss. Fruit
Yeet,
salad, yummy
yeet.
yummy. He's not here. He was killed by Jihadi John. His head was cut off. In front
Yeah,
of
that's
all
why
of us.
we were at a beheading
Yeah.
execution.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah.
Actually his own.
They were chilling in Saudi Arabia. They're like, hey, we don't like this guy. And they killed him.
Yo, this guy's
So,
fucking lame.
Yeah,
rest in peace. He'll be greatly missed. But
we gotta continue.
Where
this
were we?
conversation.
we were talking about general topics of Utopia, but mostly like
yeah, then
goals
we
and
got into
specifically
like
space exploration and colonization of other planets.
Yeah. So let's continue with that.
All right. I feel like for other planets it kind of would be like the same thing. Like, say we went to Mars and we're like, hey, we could colonize this, and so like it would kind of be like with the Americas, like they explored it a bit, and then eventually they're like a ballsy group of people just went there and just colonized it, and they're like, yeah,
Oh,
this
yeah.
works, this is good.
Well,
And
it
then
barely
eventually we'll
worked.
move
Let's
to it.
remember that.
Oh yeah, but we can't
worked.
forget like
And it worked.
how like people might claim this isn't happening, but I feel like humans are definitely slowly but steadily destroying the Earth. With-
Oh no, for sure.
for
Oh,
sure.
definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
Global warming.
pollution,
Carbon
pollution, just
Okay.
all that. So
Little connection right here. Look at Houston and how like part of the city's underwater. Yeah, that's gonna be the coast in a
that's-
couple
That's just
decades.
normal natural disasters.
I know, but that, you know how it's all
He
flooded
was-
like that?
he
That's
was
gonna be like
compared-
Rhode Island, New Jersey, like couple of coast states. Like that's what they're gonna look like when all the climate change keeps catching up to us.
Okay, anyways. So what I was saying is the way like we're kind of destroying what we have, wouldn't we start destroying what we got on other planets? Like some people have said like once we kill Earth, we could just go to like a Mars or any other planet and just like
Kill
Honestly,
it.
it would
make a
happen.
colonization there. But then like what if we end up killing that planet? What are we gonna do? Move to another planet?
Well, the thing is, we're
Just
trying to
climate
move
home.
to renewable energy. I'm pretty sure the human race is not that bad to the point
Yeah,
where
we're
it
not,
would
I mean,
continuously
we're not
destroy
that
planets.
bad, and we are definitely.
We would need to
working
take more
towards not
incentive,
doing
like-
that.
It depends on if the human race is trying to save the Earth because they have to, or they're actually just trying to save it because they're good. It's probably a bit of both. But if they're just terrible people, they will just go from planet to planet destroying it until we become a movie for another alien race that just goes and destroys planets for its resources.
Yeah. Well, like I think like kind of like since we have like the knowledge now, like back when all the pollution started back in like 1900s, like, oh, yeah, this wasn't that bad. I mean, it's fine. Like they didn't care about the pollution.
They didn't know.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
they
No,
weren't.
yeah, they didn't know. They were like, now we know. We know
Now
what
we're
we can
educated.
do to
But at
prevent
the
it.
same
By the time,
we're still creating a lot of pollution in certain places.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
it's
by the time-
estimated by 2050 we could be completely renewable energy, I think, in most
Yeah.
first world countries.
Like I mean, definitely, like first world countries are definitely working towards that. But like some like of the lower countries, they're like just getting like industrialized.
yeah, by the time we would like be colonizing like
Maybe by then we can help them.
by the time we would be colonizing other planets, like we would have the knowledge and like we would have the technology to actually do it successfully, like without polluting it. Like, I mean, everyone makes fun of hybrids and rips on Prius. I mean, they are a pretty dank meme, if I do say so myself. But like, they are legitimately like good cars that like even they use less gas and a lot of like renewable energy. And like I know some other car companies are trying to use going full electric, and like honestly, like just bring that over to like another place, and like you won't have the pollution from cars already. And the fact it really would I mean, I guess the factories would have to be like worked on, because the factories wouldn't need to be there because there's only was just recently water fountain. It was like not really that much, so you really need to just like pretty much have it be industrial, but you would need a way to dispose of the waste properly and not pollute the planet.
We have the technology to go completely renewable. It's just more about the time and money it will take to get there.
True, but sometimes we gotta put in that time, money, and effort to, like, not end up killing ourselves. It comes down to survival,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we can't like destroy the entire world. We can't just be like, just pretty much pull an Earth on it and be like, just fuck it up until the point of like, we're like, is this really an issue?
Until it becomes a movie.
What? Never mind. Well, like, we can't just continue this until like it becomes an issue of debate where like some people just refuse to outright believe that there's anything wrong with it. Like what we're seeing now. But so since like we would go to Mars, we would colonize it. It would be more industrial and like corporations than actual like farming and agriculture cultures like the ones that we saw back like when the Americas were first colonized.
Yeah.
It would be more like the Industrial Revolution. So that would be like hard not to pollute, but we would really have to limit what type of industry we'd have on there. Like we couldn't have like.
We would definitely start off with not using like renewable energy sources, because that would just be rough to try and start off fresh with renewable. So we would probably pollute it for maybe a decade or two, and then once we get on top of our feet, we would change it to the ideal circumstances, like renewable sources.
We can't just
or
go
so
right
out.
to it.
Oh.
Like,
We should have it mix at first and slowly cut it out.
Like, I mean, I'm not condoning pollution here. Like, I'm not saying go pollute, but I'm saying, like, I think, like, a little bit of pollution to get off your feet if we're, like, colonizing a planet might be necessary.
Yeah, but, like we
just,
wouldn't have it, like...
Yeah, we wouldn't have it the whole time. Yeah, definitely not,
Like, we would... I'd say we should just start out with a mix, where it would just be, like, a mix between renewable and...
Yeah,
like,
and then, like, slowly move more towards just fully renewable.
Yeah, but, like, we just slowly move towards it. You can't just, like, start out and then magically go to the other one. It needs to be a gradual, like, gradual slope into it. So, like, we just be able to actually colonize and be successful.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
We're talking about
Utopia, and then it went all the way to...
I mean, they are closely related. Like,
I didn't want to ruin the flow. We were going
it's
good.
all, like, under, like, one thing.
like we might want to...
And honestly, I think it might as well be time to end the cast.
Wrap it up.
Time to wrap it up. All
guys.
right. It's pretty nice.
Yeah, thank you for tuning in to the MEMECAST.
Thanks for tuning into the MEMECAST. Check us out next time. We're going to have some more spicy conversations. Thanks for
Education system, maybe.
Peace the fuck out, you homos. I love you all. Good night.
Good night.
All right, don't forget to